Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Every day, we rise.
What organelle builds protein?
As students. As competitors. As leaders.
It takes 7 days for food to...
But most importantly, as people. People from all over the world who arrive wide-eyed and graduate wise beyond our years, having made lifelong relationships with teachers, coaches, and each other, all while becoming someone that our own families may not recognize. The best version of ourselves. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed.
Learning it and then applying it.
In college and beyond. To ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all. The human one.
Hey, Mom.
We did it.
Every day, we rise. As students.
7 days.
As competitors. But most importantly, as people. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed, to ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all. The human one.
There's a fog out there, and it's calling you by name. It wants to wrap its whole self around you, make you forget who you are. But you won't forget. You've got to find your way through that fog, through the unknown. There's only one way.
Every day, we rise. As students.
It takes 7 days.
As competitors. But most importantly, as people. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed. In college and beyond. To ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all. The human one.
You can't succeed by yourself. You need teammates, coaches, support. You need the right tools to give you that extra edge. That's what Theragun is to me. It's the perfect enhancement to my game. To jump a little bit farther, to run that little bit faster, to reach a little bit higher. Before, during, and after my workouts. I'm DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm a Therabody athlete.
On my get back, cop a bag slow. You would never see that. Use the trap dough.
Don't wait for tomorrow.
make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
This letter is for you. From what I hear, you're supposed to be the next Tom Brady. You're not the next Tom Brady. You're the next you. Compare yourself to nobody but the kid in the mirror. The one who knows that who you are today is just a piece of who you're going to become. Sincerely, Tom. You wrote this.
Yeah.
Here, boys become men and build their own legacy. This is a place where character is developed, drive is built, and where a brotherhood is formed. Not many have what it takes. They shy away from the long days and bright lights, but we earn the right to be here. When that moment comes, when our name is called, when time is running out and everything is on the line, many may crumble, but we rise. This is just the beginning of our story.
Go ahead, not even close. All of y'all is number 2.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
And this is Ascender Football. IMG coming off 2 very impressive wins out in Utah against East High, 63-13, and then against Central High School in Phoenix City, Alabama, pulling away late 41-26. Nate, we saw St. Thomas More last year, a very close 24-14 result for the Ascenders. What do you think we can expect tonight?
St. Thomas More has talent. They're a very interesting team. They're a program that is a prep school. They do have players that are your traditional high school age, but they also have post-grad guys. It's a mix. They play a schedule primarily of college JV teams. So they are used to playing full-grown men. You know, they are not going to be pushed around up front, and they were able to keep that game close last year. While IMG had superior skill talent, they had the sort of muscle up front to run the ball, control the clock, and stay in the game. And defensively, they have some real Power 5 talent that they can bring to bear, including Zion Tracy, who committed to Penn State earlier this season.
He is back to return along with Deshaun Allen. The Ascenders wearing their white jerseys, attacking from north to south here in Bradenton, Florida, left to right on your video monitor. St. Thomas More wearing the all-dark jerseys and white numerals. Nice and easy for the broadcasters trying to identify players throughout the night. A beautiful night here in Bradenton. Again, just about a week removed from Hurricane Ian, devastating the Gulf Shore of Florida. Very lucky you can be spending the night with us here at IMG Academy, as that one will be an illegal procedure just out before it could reach the end zone. So it'll be a nice short field for St. Thomas More to start.
St. Thomas More, in addition to having a lot of potential major D1 talent on their team, they have some post-grad players who are actually reclassified players from the St. Francis team that beat IMG here last season, including Marquise Atkins, who scored a touchdown in that game, recovering a blocked punt in the end zone. As I was researching the roster, I said, that highlight looks really familiar. And I realized, wait, we were at that game. It was right here last year.
And again, you look at the IMG Academy Ascenders, one of the top teams in the nation. A very disappointing home opener here against Miami Central. But again, on the ESPN 300, 9 players in that senior class on that ESPN 300, 10 from the junior class. We will see most of them in action tonight. The quarterback to start will be Will Perry, the 6'2", 195-pound junior. Ball will be 1st and 10 from the St. Thomas More 35-yard line, and that no coaching staff wants to see on your first play after a kickoff, a delay of game.
I'll go figure that one. We have a kickoff out of bounds followed by a delay of game before the first snap from scrimmage.
So the Chancellors, this will be Will Perry, and I believe that is Roberto Alvarez on his left hip, hand up the middle. That is not a defensive line that you want to run through. Believe that is into the arms of Jaden Wayne, number 80 on that ESPN 300, one of 3 top 100 University of Miami commits on this Ascender roster.
The Ascenders have superior talent in terms of the depth of positions they have talent at. To avoid an outcome like last year where it's really close, they need to not let St. Thomas More accentuate their most talented spots.
Trips out to the left of Perry. They are going to run it right up the middle again. And we'll get a few more on the play. That'll bring them up to the 41-yard line of the Chancellors and bring up a gut check time for the Ascender defense on 3rd and about 4.
I'd be surprised if this isn't another running play. They'll use those wide receivers just to get men out of the box.
Again, same formation, 3 receivers to the left. Alvarez on the left hip of quarterback Will Perry. Now the snap, they are going to look for that deep home run ball to start, and a flag coming in, and that is into the back of Desmond Ricks. I don't know about that call. It's going to be 15 yards, but going into the numbers of Desmond Ricks, and the gift of a flag is given.
Yeah, that was Tracy running down the sideline there. Now, I mentioned in the pregame, he is a college signee as a corner to go play defensive back in the Big Ten. But for St. Thomas More, I think it's pretty reasonable to expect we'll see him both ways. And he certainly has the speed to be a factor and the ball skills on the outside, drawing the penalty there.
And the ball will be at the Ascender 49-yard line, the first play from scrimmage in Ascender territory. And now St. Thomas More and the Chancellors will spread their offense out just a little bit more. Very similar personnel, 1st and 10. Ball at the IMG 49. Take the snap, and this handoff to Jaden Jones goes nowhere, just about a yard or two. Up to the 47-yard line. The IMG varsity white team. Big story this week as they will be playing at White Hart Lane. That game will be in London, England, 2 days after the NFL game that will be taking place this Sunday. Varsity white in action against Berkeley Prep tonight up in the Tampa Bay area. We'll try and get you an updated score as we are not streaming that game on IMG channels. As getting called there, that is David Stone, the number 14 junior on that ESPN 100 of the class of 2024. 20-plus offers for that defensive lineman, and it's going to be a false start against the Chancellors.
A penalty like that can be a backbreaker for a team trying to execute the sort of game plan we expect to see from the Chancellors. Wind up behind the sticks. And they don't have a lot of explosive talent on the outside. I say that, though, without knowing just how explosive Tracy may be on the offensive side of the ball.
Now they take the snap. Looking pressure. Coming down he goes. Breaking through, that is Samuel Mpemba. Potential future Fighting Irish, future Crimson Tide, future Gator, future Wolverine. He basically has his choice. The number 33 prospect from that senior class. And he will register that sack for the IMG defense. It's a big one and brings up a 3rd and very long for the Chancellors.
Be curious to see if they finally let Perry show his arm or if they just keep it on the ground and punt.
And they are going to go to the air. It's just a little screen right up to the middle that finds Alvarez, and he is not going to get enough for the first down, but it is going to be one of those in-between territories. Too long to kick a field goal, maybe too short to punt, but there is a flag in the neighborhood of holding, and that is exactly what the call is.
Threw me off. I was looking for the pink flags like they used during the varsity blue game last night. Realized there was a yellow hanky there on the ground.
And it's still third down, but the punting unit is out. The Ascenders did accept it, so now they have another quick personnel change and probably anticipate the Chancellors taking a timeout here if they cannot get this play off. They've got 20 seconds. And this is one of those situations where you might want to look out for a little bit of trickeration.
They do have some other wide receivers with college offers and commitments. Sage Clogs, a UConn offer, and Marshawn Ferguson, an Old Dominion commit out there.
Perry takes the snap, drops, rolls to his left, pressure coming. There's a little bit of a hold in the back. That one is brought down by Sage Clogs. And now we will see the punting unit come out after basically the exact same result we would have had without the penalty.
Well, that's the way it works sometimes. Get right back to the same spot. I'm actually a little bit surprised IMG didn't decline the initial penalty once they saw the punt unit on its way out there. Regardless, outcome winds up the same. And the explosive IMG offense will be out here in just a second.
And this will be Carnell Tate deep. A beautiful spiral on the punt, and Tate fields it right about the 19-yard line. 1st and 10, 81 yards to go for IMG Academy.
Nozumo Mikiachi, the kicker and punter, putting some nice spiraling hang time on that. His coverage team got down the field quickly. Really curious to see if this defense and all the talent they have for Thomas More can slow down the Ascenders the same way they did last season.
Quarterback Jaden Bradford offers from Georgia Tech, Louisville, Mizzou, Penn State. Number 41 on that ESPN 100 list of top 100 juniors. This first handoff to, I believe that is not Jarrett Gibson. That is Evan Dickens, listed on our roster as a defensive lineman. So we may have a little bit of a roster mix-up. We'll try and get that clear for you before the end of the game.
Adam Perlstein in on the tackle. Anecdotally, have seen a lot of rave reviews for the way he played in the two most recent games for St. Thomas More.
Now play action. Bradford rolling to his right. He's got the big man. That is Riley Williams. Again, we've talked about him in that Miami Central game. He is a future Hurricane, and he is built like all the Miami greats, Jeremy Shockey, Greg Olson. Just an absolute freak in open space.
So light on his feet there. The throw actually appeared to be, as we take a second look at it, like it looked as though it might sail initially. I mean, he was able to stop on a dime, bring it in, and get over toward that sideline.
Bradford awaits the snap. They'll hand this one up the middle. That will be ground caused. St. Thomas More comes up with it, but there was no doubt about that one. Goes down hard. The ball pops out. After contact, it'll be second down for IMG Academy.
No debate whatsoever to be had there. It's funny to see the ball come flying out like that, but you can see in the replay it's when he was rolling over.
Under Armour is proud to outfit IMG Academy football in the world's most innovative footwear, uniforms, and training gear. Visit UA.com today to see Under Armour's full range of performance apparel. Second down, 6 yards to go for IMG. Jaden Bradford will have an empty backfield. Drops, fires this one quickly. It is caught by Winston Watkins Jr. Running towards that far sideline, gets a few more yards and makes a very manageable down. Third for IMG Academy.
Makai Wilson with the tackle, senior linebacker for St. Thomas More.
Ascenders looking for their second first down of the drive. Nice first snag by Watkins. Keep an eye on Carnell Tate, the future Ohio State Buckeye, on the near side of your screen. And Dickens will move to the right hip of Bradford. Play action. Bradford's going to keep it himself. He'll get the first down and slide. Looks like someone may have gotten a glove in his ear hole, but no flags. Good enough for the first down on the quarterback keeper from Bradford.
I think we're going to have our first water break here.
And we will. Scoreless at IMG Academy. 5:31 remaining in the first. We'll take you to the hydration break. You're watching Ascender Football.
Every day, we rise.
What organelle builds protein?
As students. As competitors. As leaders.
It takes 7 days for food to
But most importantly, as people. People from all over the world who arrive wide-eyed and graduate wise beyond our years, having made lifelong relationships with teachers, coaches, and each other, all while becoming someone that our own families may not recognize. The best version of ourselves. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed.
Learning it and then applying it.
In college and beyond.
Our first hydration break for athletes who move the game forward. We're creating the fuel to get you there. Test in the lab, proven on a field. Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the proven sports fuel. 1st and 10. And this one is put on the turf and is picked up and still somehow on his feet and then planted. I believe that was Zion Tracy laying the wood to Dickens.
Ball wound up fumbled twice on that play, and now key to get it picked up that second time, but may have been wiser on the second try just to fall on it.
And that was actually Nair Graham, number 17. The jersey number bunched up just a little bit. So 2nd and 9 for IMG.
Graham, a former Maryland commit, so another potential major D1 talent.
Ascenders looking for their first play in Chancellor territory. Now Jarrett Gibson, the stud junior running back, will join. Now looking deep downfield for Bradford, looking for Carnell Tate. It is caught! The future Ohio State Buckeye puts the Ascenders in the red zone on a dime from Jaden Bradford.
Chris Hudson, the UConn commit, had really good coverage. Tate didn't have much separation, but we know how strong his hands are. Once he's able to get two hands on the ball, you're not prying it free from him.
And just an absolutely amazing throw and catch. Beautiful coverage in the secondary from St. Thomas More. Just not enough to rip it away from, again, one of those top prospects. And now this one, a little flag route into the back corner of the end zone and just unable to bring it down. Tate on the second time. That one will go down as an incomplete.
Right after I praised his hands, that one actually would have been an easier catch than the first one.
Chris Hudson again with the good coverage in that secondary for St. Thomas More.
It almost looked like Tate may have located the ball a little late that time. Perhaps Hudson able to obstruct his view some.
So 2nd and 10, the Ascenders 18 yards away from breaking through on the scoreboard. The handoff to Jarrett Gibson looking for some space, and he is spun down after maybe gaining 1 yard on the play.
Makai Wilson, a couple strong tackles in the early going.
Definitely well within field goal range for the Ascenders, but you have to imagine that 3 is not on their mind right now. And a few of the players on this team definitely remember last year's close result, 24-14.
And it was closer than that. I was here for that one. There was a lead in the second half for St. Thomas More, and a late touchdown is what made it a two-score game for IMG.
Now 3rd and 10. Bradford drops, rolling to his right, has time, fires across the middle, looking for Oludabe, and incomplete. It'll be 4th down, and it looks like the Ascenders aren't going to bring on the kicking unit. And Roman Levant.
Good coverage, and the post route a bit overthrown in terms of leading him too far.
So it will be Bradford on to hold. This one about a 36-yard attempt, well within Levant's range. And again, with Bradford as the holder, anything is possible here. On the Ascender first possession. Snap is back, the hold is down, and a timeout called by IMG Academy. We will take it with them. 3:30 remaining in the first quarter. You're watching Ascender football.
Every day, we rise. as students,
7 days.
as competitors, but most importantly, as people. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed, to ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all, the human one.
There's a fog out there, and it's calling you by name. It wants to wrap its whole self around you, make you forget who you are. But you won't forget. You've got to find your way through that fog, through the unknown. There's only one way.
Zenith is proud to be the official equipment partner of IMG Academy Football. Zenith creates great fitting football products that deliver elevated performance, maximum value for athletes, coaches, and parents. For more information, visit Zenith, that's XENITH.com. 36 yards for Roman Levant. And now a personnel switch with about 15 seconds left on the play clock. We'll see if St. Thomas More tries to call timeout, and that is exactly what the Ascender coaching staff does. We'll keep it here. But a very wise move, and again, we kind of expected something similar to that. Again, especially on the Ascenders' first offensive drive, and they get St. Thomas More to burn that first time out.
Sneaky, sneaky chess game, scrambling the offense back on like that. You almost wonder if they burned the play clock down so far the initial time before the timeout just to sell it.
And now we'll see after this timeout if we get the offense back on the field or special teams, maybe even try to run the same trickeration play. Again, thank you for spending your Friday night here with us, IMG Academy. We are just about half hour south of Tampa Bay. Again, on the Gulf Coast of Florida. Again, just nice to be out, Nate, especially with all the damage in some of the more southern cities, Venice, Englewood, Fort Myers. It's just great to be out. And again, thoughts and prayers with the recovery efforts down in those areas. IMG has some opponents coming up on the schedule. We're not sure if they're going to be played. We hope they do, but first and foremost, we hope for a quick recovery for those communities devastated by Hurricane Ian.
I was legitimately surprised to see Naples Golden Gate make it up here for last night's game.
Bradford and Gibson in the backfield, and now they will switch to the field goal unit. Jaden Bradford, though, remains in at the holder. Would not be surprised to see a quick little move. I believe that's Riley Williams split out to the left. Snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up. A lot of work for 3 points, but Levant tacks him on with 3:26 remaining in the first quarter. The Ascenders break through first. It's 3-0 over St. Thomas More. You're watching IMG Academy Football.
You can't succeed by yourself. You need teammates, coaches, support. You need the right tools to give you that extra edge. That's what Theragun is to me. It's the perfect enhancement to my game. To jump a little bit farther, to run that little bit faster, to reach a little bit higher. Before, during, and after my workouts. I'm DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm a Therabody athlete.
Welcome back. There is Roman Levant. The Ascenders take a 3-0 lead on the 36-yard kick. Levant's first kickoff went out of bounds. This one goes out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. It'll be a slightly shorter field for slightly longer field for St. Thomas More. 80 yards to go. Again, they did march into IMG territory. A couple of bad penalties and some great defensive plays from the IMG defense. A big sack from Samuel Mpemba, setting up that first turnover on downs.
St. Thomas More has played a lot of high-scoring shootouts in those games against college JV teams. First drive looked like they were more so back to their same sort of strategy they used here last year, trying to control the ball, get 3-4 yards at a time and steadily move downfield. Curious if they will cut it loose at some point here in the passing game.
Will Perry with 2 receivers to each side. They'll hand the ball up the middle again. They'll fall forward for about 3 yards and that cloud of dust, which is about all you can typically get against this IMG front.
That's all they can get, but they're content to move it forward in small batches and also keep the pass rush away from Perry, who's already been sacked once.
And you've got Jaden Wayne up there, Cameron Lenhart with 14 offers, including Michigan, Miami, Louisville, and Arkansas. That is a Power 5 front four for IMG Academy right now. Perry takes the snap, and pressure coming, and down he goes! Busting through, I believe that was Alexander Armour, or correction, Jaden Jackson on the defensive line, just getting great penetration through that O-line and just putting Will Perry in a corner and nowhere to go.
So certainly seeming pretty evident that St. Thomas More has some real concerns about how to keep this pass rush off of Perry.
3 receivers right. Perry drops on 3rd and long and just short, bounces it to Sage Clauges. And a quick 3 and out for St. Thomas More, and this should put the Ascenders in some great field position.
Yeah, the receiver wasn't even out of his break that time, and you could see a little gesture of frustration from him back toward his quarterback, but Perry's already been hit hard a couple times, and he was hearing footsteps when he let go of that ball.
And it will be Carnell Tate. Again, back to return. He's listed at number 231 on that ESPN 300. Great snap back, pressure coming. Again, an excellent punt. And Tate, with the fair catch, will down at about the 44-yard line in St. Thomas More territory. And the IMG offense will come back out onto the field.
Not much of a breather at all for that defense for the Chancellors, as the offense only on the field for not even 90 seconds of game time here in the first quarter on that most recent drive.
And the Ascenders, again, start 44 yards away. They are in the Chancellor 44-yard line. Again, this is a St. Thomas More team. We talked about the 24-14 result with IMG, but they also played St. Francis, a team that IMG lost to last year and only lost by 21 points. So, again, this is a team that is stuck with some of the top high school prospects and academies in the nation.
I wound up poaching a few of them, I guess, when they went home from that St. Francis game as well.
And that is a game that everybody will have circled at the end of this year. St. Francis out of Baltimore, Maryland. Again, one of the top programs in the nation, responsible for 2 of IMG's last 3 losses. And now Bradford under center, Gibson directly behind him. 1 receiver to each side. Riley Williams also on the right side of that offensive line. And now the handoff to Gibson running left side. He's got space and speed, makes 1 miss. Down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line and good enough for the first down. You know, we talk about Jarrett Gibson. He is a guy that a lot of schools, including Alabama and Auburn, that's about all you need to know from that running back. There was a flag on the call. Former IMG Academy running back coach Cadillac Williams was here for the IMG spring practice, specifically looking at Jarrett Gibson.
There was a run blitz coming off the left side. Atkins, the linebacker, was coming on the blitz. They ran away from it, but the penalty winds up setting IMG back nonetheless, as there was a hold out there on the perimeter.
So the line to gain is the 34. They're all the way back at the 46 now. So 2nd and 12, and now Bradford drops, looking for the deep ball. He has a man. It's Winston Watkins, the fingertip grab. Falls inside the 5, down to about the 2-yard line. And wow, 44 yards for Jaden Bradford on an absolutely spectacular catch from Winston Watkins Jr.
A full-blown escort of defensive backs, and they all round up running behind him.
Jaden Bradford just dropping some dimes deep downfield. And I don't think that the Ascenders are going to be settling for 3 on this drive, Nate. Brandon Winton splits out wide to the left. Man coverage, 1-on-1. Carnell Tate all alone to the right. Jarrett Gibson And the snap is bad, but Jaden Bradford picks it up. The broken play, touchdown Ascenders. Not sure exactly what happened on the snap. Jaden Bradford picks it up on the bounce and scampers into the end zone for 6.
It's the snapperooski. Bounce the snap to the quarterback and let him take off with it.
And now the Ascender offense looking like they seem to be clicking on all cylinders early on in this first quarter. 28.3 seconds remaining in the first quarter. All right, now they're yelling for Xavier Lazowicki to help anchor that special teams protection for Roman Levant. Snap is back, the hold is down, the kick is up, and would have been good from about 40. So with 28.3 remaining in the first quarter, Ascenders 10, Chancellors nothing. You're watching IMG Academy Football.
On my get back, copper bag slow. You would never see that. Use the trap go.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Therabody is proud to be an official recovery partner of IMG Academy. Therabody offers an ecosystem of percussive therapy and pneumatic compression products and solutions that help our student athletes perform better, recover faster, and manage pain. And Levant sends that one out for touchback number 2. Another 80-yard field for the Chancellors. And the IMG defense already hot so far early in this first half, Nate. They're going to be looking to, again, force another quick 3 and out here.
Yeah, no ability so far shown by the Chancellors to keep the pass rush away from Perry. And so if the running game isn't going to do enough to move the chains here and there, well, then it could turn into a long night because the game plan is out the window for St. Thomas More in that event.
Will Perry, again, you mentioned last year, Nate, we saw a even rotation pretty much of quarterbacks for St. Thomas More. This year they are sticking with Will Perry, 3 receivers to his right. They're going to try to go to the air, and he'll roll out to his left and just dropping this one over, and that should be incomplete, out of bounds. But a nice grab by Sage Claudius, who seems to be one of the lone targets for Perry.
Claudius is something of a safety valve. They keep him there hugging the sideline on seemingly every route. Again, there's not much time for Perry to stand back there and let any routes develop downfield.
And again, Desmond Ricks, he is the number 2 junior on that ESPN 100 with over 25 offers. Alabama, Georgia, Miami, Michigan. And now Perry throws this one into the flat. He has a man, it's Deshaun Allen, one of the return specialists as well for St. Thomas More. He'll get about 6 or 7 on the play and bring up 3rd down. I actually credit him just for 5. 3rd and 5 to go, but that will end the first quarter. After 12 minutes of play, we've got 12 more left in the first half. IMG Academy 10, St. Thomas More 0. You're watching IMG Academy Football.
This letter is for you. From what I hear, you're supposed to be the next Tom Brady. You're not the next Tom Brady. You're the next you. Compare yourself to nobody but the kid in the mirror. The one who knows that who you are today is just a piece of who you're going to become. Sincerely, Tom. You wrote this. Yeah.
Here, boys become men and build their own legacy. This is a place where character is developed, drive is built, and where a brotherhood is formed. Not many have what it takes. They shy away from the long days and bright lights, but we earn the right to be moment comes, when our name is called, when time is running out and everything is on the line, many may crumble, but we rise. This is just the beginning of our story.
Go ahead, not even close. All of y'all is number 2.
Welcome to the show.
Beginning of the second quarter, it's going to be a false start for St. Thomas More. Looks like they were trying to draw IMG offside on the hard count. So 3rd and 5, now 3rd and 10. And that Ascender defensive line going to be licking their chops early on here, Nate.
Worth noting, this is a short week for St. Thomas More. They played most recently on October 2nd.
And the IMG Academy Ascender's not the team you want to play on a short break when they've had 2 weeks off. Again, that game against Orlando Jones was canceled due to the hurricane, and now looking for an interference. That was Zion Tracy, but Desmond Ricks, again, we mentioned the number 2 junior in the class of 2024 with over 25 offers. I don't know why they try to keep throwing his way, because again, he did get the first pass interference early on in that first drive, but nothing since then.
Yeah, Rick's not the defensive back that you want to test. IMG has done a nice job moving him around a little bit, as he hasn't been on Tracy exclusively, but on the 2 third down pass plays he has been.
Nazumo Mikiachi back to punt for St. Thomas More. Carnell Tate with his heels at the Ascender 44-yard line. Pressure coming off that left edge, and this one skies high. Tate calls for the fair catch. He'll field it at the 47, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the IMG offense. Michael Saunders & Company, founded in 1976, is the Gulf Coast's leading residential real estate company and is proud to be the official real estate and relocation services sponsor of IMG Academy. Providing a full-service real estate experience, our team of professionals will guide you through the intricacies of buying and selling a home, as well as providing a deep knowledge of the area and the many great places to live. For more information, visit michaelsaunders.com. Jaden Bradford comes back onto the field for the Ascenders. Jarek Gibson on his right hip. Bradford takes the snap, the hand to Gibson running left side, cuts up at the 45. He is tripped up at the 50. Getting a shoestring tackle, Brandon Spence prevents a huge gain and limits Gibson to just 5 up to the Chancellor 49-yard line.
Important drive right now, as I was telling our stellar producer Logan before the game. Last year, St. Thomas More never let the IMG offense really get rolling. Things can start to snowball. You start giving the ball back this quickly over and over again.
Watkins and Winton split out to the right. Bradford with help on both sides in the backfield. He drops, pressure coming. He's able to evade one, and a big sack. Number 32 for the Chancellors, Marquise Atkins, the 6-foot, 230-pound senior. And that is the big play that the Chancellors needed, 3rd and long, but we know the Ascenders are more than capable of extending the field, especially with this much space.
Again, Atkins, one of those transfers from St. Francis, actually graduated from St. Francis after beating IMG last season, and is taking a post-grad year with St. Thomas More.
3rd and 16 on the loss of 11. They'll send Dickens in motion, and now Bradford, just the quick slip screen to Gibson, and he is brought down after no gain. And that is a stop for St. Thomas More. And that'll bring on the punting unit for IMG Academy.
Brandon Spence making the stop on the short pass play.
4th and 16. Roman Levant also with the punting duties. Await the snap. This one will bounce end over end, potential poison. And it takes an Ascender bounce to the St. Thomas More 30. So a defensive stand on both sides, Nate. And now St. Thomas More with about 70 yards to try to break that 0 and pull it off the scoreboard.
One thing we've seen work well defensively for St. Thomas More is they've moved Atkins around both as a run blitzer and bringing him on the blitz on that pass play. And they've brought him off the left side of the line for the most part, but there's a lot of late shifting and stunting before the snap. They have managed to get him right up to the line of scrimmage with some well-timed movement.
From their own 30-yard line, Perry takes the snap. And pressure coming, down he goes. Another sack for the Ascender defense. And that is Cameron Lenart, 14 offers. Michigan, Miami, Louisville, Arkansas, and 10 more on top of that. He just breaks through and hits Perry in the blind side. Also in on the pressure there, Jaden Wayne. And they have just spent a lot of time in the backfield, almost more than Will Perry today.
Yeah, Perry, left-handed quarterback, doesn't even see that rush coming.
And they try to go back up the middle and tripped up in the backfield. On top there for IMG, Jaden Wayne. Again, a lot of excitement down in Coral Gable with some of the prospects here. Again, 3, including Jaden Wayne. We also talked about the tight end, Riley Williams. And also Francis Maui-Goa, one of the best offensive linemen in the nation. And now a flag coming in late. And David Stone also breaking through. And we're going to wait to see what the official call is. Personal foul face mask against the Ascenders, so that'll be close to a first down, but not an automatic one.
Yeah, high school rules, not an automatic first down on the face mask, so this is going to be pretty close to it. Not as close as I thought.
Not the yardage swing that the Ascenders were hoping for. So 3rd and 6. Perry awaits the call. Also has Roberto Alvarez in the backfield with him, along with Jaden Jones. Takes the snap. This time they hand to Alvarez, looking left side, but going nowhere. Into the brick wall that is Eric Lee. Coming up from the secondary, clogging that gap. And on 4th and 4, you have to imagine St. Thomas More does not want to give the Ascenders a short field.
No, don't want to give them a short field. That's another way for things to start snowballing real quick, especially after your defense just had a nice stand. You're going to have to put it back on their shoulders.
And the punt almost blocked. This one is going to be dangerous. IMG has to get away from it. Carnell Tate, another fair catch, and the Ascender offense in this game of ping pong will come back onto the field. We'll keep it here. Located next to campus, the Legacy Hotel at IMG Academy is a contemporary boutique hotel with countless amenities and the Icon Eatery and Bar available for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Enjoy ultimate convenience and proximity to campus as well as local area attractions, top-rated beaches. Visit www.imglegacyhotel.com to reserve your stay. 60 yards to go for the Ascender offense. Jaden Bradford and Jarek Gibson. That battery in the backfield that keep this IMG offense running. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right for Bradford. They'll send 1 in motion and try the jet sweep. And it is Tate. Cuts upfield at the 45 and gets into Chancellor territory. 1 yard in front of the line to gain. Good for the Ascender, first down.
And Tate's already shown us what a target he is, and most of the time you're going to see him used downfield, but that was a good chance for him to show what he can do with the ball in his hands. Able to evade some traffic in the backfield and turn it into a first down.
Now Gibson, and we'll take a look at Donovan Johnson on the right hip of Jaden Bradford. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. They take the snap, the handoff to Gibson. He hits the spin button, tries to get into Chancellor territory. He is stood up right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 for IMG Academy.
IMG, after the early explosive plays, starting to get gummed up. Line of scrimmage starting to look a bit more like the matchup from last season on this side of the ball.
Well, Gibson with a loss of 1 on the play. Tate split out wide to the right along with Donovan Oladabe. Now the snap. Bradford's going to go back to the air, looking downfield, looking for Gibson, and that one looks like the official may have gotten in the way a little bit. Nice coverage from the secondary. I believe Jamal Davis Jr. was in there as well. And that one was just a little bit too tight of a space for Jaden Bradford to sneak it through.
All 4 wideouts were just blanketed on that play. St. Thomas More manned up on the outside, and unlike the play a couple drives back where Watkins was able to break free, nothing developed downfield that time.
3rd and 11, ball spotted directly at midfield. The pink highlighted IMG Ascender logo for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and now the delayed draw. Jarrett Gibson now has space, cuts up at the 45, still on his feet at the 40, down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. And a first down on 3rd and long. Jarrett Gibson finds his way downhill and moves the chains for IMG.
Well, look how Devin Hyatt gets out in front as a blocker on this play. And he actually holds that block so well, you'll see he gets shoved out of the way to create room for those extra few yards at the end of the run.
1st and 10, and it looks like we'll have another water break here. 6:17 remaining in the half. You're watching IMG football.
You can't succeed by yourself. You need teammates, coaches, support. You need the right tools to give you that extra edge. That's what Theragun is to me. It's the perfect enhancement to my game. To jump a little bit farther, to run that little bit faster, to reach a little bit higher. Before, during, and after my workouts. I'm DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm a Therabody athlete.
I've been on my get back, cop a bag slow. You would never see that. Use the trap dough.
Welcome back. It is 1st and 10 after the nice run by Jarrett Gibson. Bradford now takes the snap, finds Carnell Tate on the near side, running down the sideline, pushed out of bounds. Clock will stop. And the Ascenders will continue to march, trying to add on to their 10-point lead. They'll credit Carnell Tate with a gain of about 7 on the play, bringing up 2nd and 3.
I like how they're using him on this drive, putting the ball in his hands early, letting him go to work.
Again, the Ascenders with their depth. Now a little bit of a pistol formation with Jarrett Gibson directly behind Jaden Bradford in shotgun. And now Gibson trying to run downhill. And he is brought down. Going to be close to the first down marker. We'll see where they give the spot, and they will move the chains. Gibson and Carnell Tate basically moving the chains all by themselves.
Nair Graham, his celebration after making that tackle, he got up so exuberantly and punched the air so hard he fell over forwards. I wish we could take a second look at that, but IMG is back to the line.
Bradford awaits the snap, 2 receivers to his right. And the handoff is stuffed in the backfield. And quickly is Adam Pearlstein, the 6'2", 225-pound senior linebacker.
His latest huddle video is just him absolutely laying lumber. And that time wasn't really that hard of a hit, but a good, solid wrap-up.
Show your support of the Ascenders. Go to www.shopimg.com, your official IMG Academy retailer. One man in motion. Now the snap. Bradford Stepping up, he is wrapped up and he is sacked again. This time it is Joseph Mapoyi. And that'll bring up 3rd and long for IMG.
Haven't called his name yet. He has offers. He has as impressive an offer sheet as anyone on this St. Thomas More team. Miami, Auburn, and Michigan, all among teams that have furnished an offer to Mapoyi. We also haven't seen Adam Shovlin, who is the right end on this defensive line. Virginia Tech, BC, Duke, Rutgers, and most recently Maryland earlier this week, furnishing offers to him.
3rd and 18, the ball on the Chancellor 30-yard line. IMG wants to take a second and talk about it. 4:22 remaining. The Ascenders still with a 10-point lead. They will also get the ball to begin the second half, but we're still a few minutes away. You're watching IMG Academy football.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
This letter is for you. From what I hear, you're supposed to be the next Tom Brady. You're not the next Tom Brady. You're the next you. Compare yourself to nobody but the kid in the mirror. The one who knows that who you are today is just a piece of who you're going to become. Sincerely, Tom. You wrote this.
3rd and 18, you see some of the Ascender students coming out to support IMG. Now the hand, Jarrett Gibson sheds one tackle, cuts upfield to the 25 to the 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown, Ascenders. Jarrett Gibson from 30 yards out puts the Ascenders up 6 more and helps IMG Academy pull away from St. Thomas More. They won by 10 last time. Right now they are up 17.
And he wins a foot race there against Jamal Hood. Hood, who is a BC decommitment, was actually recruited as a wide receiver and now is making that transition primarily, my understanding anyway, is that he is being recruited more as a defensive back now, although he is still listed as a wide receiver on the St. Thomas More roster.
Roman Levant lines up for the point after. Snap back, hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 4:14 remaining in the half, and IMG is pulled away to a 17-0 lead. You're watching IMG Academy football. Follow all things social on IMG Academy. Follow along at IMG Academy or IMGA Football, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Again, also stay tuned next Tuesday morning, very, very early. IMG Varsity White will be in action in London, England, 2 days after the NFL game at White Hart Lane, home of the Tottenham Hotspur. And now St. Thomas More looking for an answer. Roman Levant, the kicker, preventing the big return and keeps him in Chancellor territory.
Deshaun Allen got around the corner out to the left side, and the kicker was the last man with a chance to stop him. And all things considered, that's pretty fine field position for the IMG defense when you consider how potentially open that lane to head into IMG territory was.
And again, that is the first opportunity that any of the return men for St. Thomas More have had. Everything has either been a touchback or that first illegal procedure from Levant on the opening kickoff. Ball spotted at the 42-yard line of the Chancellors. Trying to run left side, nothing doing. Gain of about 2. And time is of the essence for St. Thomas More. Again, IMG will receive the second half kickoff.
Certainly feel like the Chancellors need to have a sense of urgency that they need to come away with points before halftime. Certainly don't want to give it back to IMG and let them get in the end zone on a quick strike.
Now just the quick little dump screen to Allen, trying to run right side, and he is blown up. Combination of Jarvis Lee and Jordan Johnson-Rebel. Johnson-Rebel, another one of those of the junior class, number 59 on the ESPN 100. 20-plus offers for number 23 of IMG Academy. Also getting a little help from number 27, defensive back Jarvis Lee. Third down, 7 to go. St. Thomas More from their own 45-yard line. Perry awaits the snap with 3 receivers to his left. Pressure coming, and down he goes! Oh my goodness, Samuel Mpemba. Absolutely flustering that play, and Perry's blind side, when uncovered, has just been unbearable. Also running in on the play there, Gabriel Harris, the future Georgia Bulldog. If Mpemba didn't get the job done, Harris would have.
Marleo Nealian was just completely outclassed by the speed of Mpemba.
And the Ascenders will have a chance to tack one on, and now it is a bad snap. Trying to bring him down. The punter finally gets it away. Don't know how he did it. Carnell Tate fields it at the 46, and he'll step out of bounds right at midfield. And as far as broken plays go, that is a very impressive one from the punter for St. Thomas More.
I don't think I've ever seen a punter wrestle their way out of a tackle to then still get the punt off.
And very lucky that Carnell Tate could not find that one in space, because that could have been exactly the opposite of what they were looking for. And IMG now with the short field will try to add one in the final 2:43 of the half.
Sometimes you worry about out-kicking your coverage. In that case, because of the battle in the backfield there, he wound up kicking it behind most of the coverage unit. Enough of them recovered, though, to hem Tate into the sideline.
And IMG will take a timeout. We'll take it with them. 1st and 10 when we get back from the 50. You're watching Ascender Football.
Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
There you see St. Thomas More, an uphill battle for the visitors from Connecticut. 50 yards to go for IMG Academy, already proving that that's not enough space for the St. Thomas More defense. Jaden Bradford now, 2 receivers, right 2 to the left. Gibson on his left hip. Gibson trying to shoot out of a cannon straight up the middle and cannot find the hole. The clock will continue to run, and no gain for the Ascenders.
First time calling Shovlin's name in this game, mentioned the impressive list of offers, about 10 or so that he has piled up. That time he came right around from the edge and caught Gibson around the hips.
So 2nd and 10, clock continues to tick away. No real sense of urgency from IMG. They do have the 17-point lead. And now we'll see Bradford under center. The rare occasion in this half. Now the snap, the hand to Gibson, looking left side, cuts back. You see the great footwork and then just trips up, and the turf sniper gets him. And 3rd down and 10 to go. Gibson punches the ground. He knows he had a little bit of space if he could have just planted and cut back upfield.
I say tackled by number 50, not number 50 for Thomas More, but the 50 on the field.
Again, it is not just this football team. Again, there was a varsity blue game here last night, so there's little practice on this field, but it definitely gets a lot of cleats on it any given weekend. Bradford now steps up in the pocket, fires across the middle, has Carnell Tate, and somehow Carnell Tate comes down with it. Good for the 1st down. The clock will stop as the chains move. Wow.
Hood all over him in coverage. It just didn't matter. It's like a gravitational pull bringing the ball into his hands.
And Bradford just another absolute only spot where Carnell Tate can find it. And he comes up big for the Ascender offense now from the 25-yard line. Running up the middle. And that is Dickens again on the carry.
Don't have to worry about the clock, but need to be cognizant of it. It took a long time to sort the pile out there, and now it's 45 seconds and still running with IMG huddling.
And I believe the Ascenders still have one more timeout. At least that's what the scoreboard tells us. 2 receivers to each side. Bradford takes the snap. Play action. Bradford looking. Rolls to his right. And now has Dickens on a little flat route, and he's tripped up. It's going to be enough for the first down. The clock will stop the Ascenders right about 5 yards out, and they're going to have to get back to the line of scrimmage quick. 22.6 remaining. Trying to get 7 more before the end of the half. Clock starts running, and Bradford's going to clock play it. Incomplete pass will bring up second down with just under 20 seconds to go.
We have enough time to get all 3 shots at it here if you need them. This first play is where you want to probably open the playbook the widest, though. You still have the timeout. You can use the middle of the field, and you don't have to panic about being stopped short of the end zone. Once that last timeout gets used, though, you may only have 1 shot left if you do have to use it after this play.
Second and goal, ball just inside the 10-yard line of St. Thomas More. Now the snap. Bradford steps up, fires across the middle, caught, touchdown! Winston Watkins Jr. from just a little over 9 yards out puts the Ascenders up 6 more. It's 23-0.
Now Watkins pulled the hood over Hood's eyes on the coverage there. Got great separation. And you can see Hood seemed to think that perhaps he would have the opportunity to pass Watkins off as he came across the middle, is how it looked there. Couldn't see him for the entirety of the replay, but it looked like he expected that he could hand him off as he crossed the field, and there was no one there.
Whistle blows. And I believe Bradford's going to have to leave with an equipment malfunction. We'll see the sophomore quarterback, Ryan Downs, again, who filled in for Jaden Bradford in that Miami Central loss. Again, Downs, even though only a sophomore, been on campus, again, believe since his 7th grade year.
I think this is an equipment issue.
And 2 different players have to leave the field for IMG.
And checking in will be Jordan Hall. Yeah, the Michigan State linebacker. And now we'll see as Downs awaits the snap. It's back, the hold is down, the kick is up. And it doesn't matter because the kick is good. 15.3 seconds remaining. IMG now a full 3-score lead. It's 24-0. You're watching IMG Academy football.
Every day, we rise. As students,
7 days.
as competitors, but most importantly, as people. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are...
There you see not just a football school, but also national champions in baseball a couple of years back. 2 of the 10 sports that are going to be on campus starting next year. And this one takes a dangerous bounce into the end zone. 15.3 to go, but not just football and baseball. Also one of the top-ranked basketball programs in the nation. Golf, tennis, soccer, lacrosse, just adding volleyball. Also track and field, so you never know who you're going to run into Cam Newton has been on campus here before. We've seen Florida State do their spring practice here, Michigan do their spring practice here. Whenever teams from the West Coast are playing in the NFL, the Raiders have trained here, the 49ers have trained here. You never know who you're going to run into on campus here at IMG Academy.
Well, and as you mentioned also, all the coaches and recruiters that come through here, coaches, scouts, coming to look at all the athletes. I mean, this truly is one of the great athletic hubs in America.
And now Perry with 15 seconds. Pressure coming in. Pemba looking for another sack, and this one is blown up. Incomplete. 9.1 seconds to go. Perry's going to have to look a little deeper downfield if they want to try to get points before the half.
There's just no way for him to. He's having to scramble as soon as he receives the snap. There is no time for him to hang in the pocket and wait for a route to develop downfield.
So 2nd and 10. Perry running back to each side. Now the handoff up the middle. They've got some space. A chance to run into Ascender territory. Instead, it's right into the arms of Eric Lee. But not until he gets the first down. And St. Thomas More, again, will call a timeout. 60 yards is one of those yardages at the high school level, Nate, though, where you have an opportunity to just kind of throw one, hope maybe you have a receiver open at the 25 and can maybe find some space moving deep downfield. But with 2.6 seconds against this defense, it's going to be a very, very tough task.
Ryan, it's not going to matter. IMG can rush 3 and drop 8, and there won't be enough time for Perry to let his receivers get that far down the field.
And if you can't make it to the game, tune in at IMG Academy on Facebook or YouTube for the full live stream. And myself, Ryan Sudol, my broadcast partner, Nate March. Post-grad football tomorrow here on the IMG Academy YouTube channel. That game will be a 5 o'clock kickoff. And timeout called by IMG. And again, also stay tuned to all the IMG social channels, as for the first time in IMG history, one of the football programs, and it's not the national team, it's Varsity White. They're taking on Berkeley Prep, trying to get you an updated score on that. But they will be taking on NFL Academy in London, again, 2 days after the NFL game. And that game will be streamed on the NFL Academy YouTube page, courtesy of the UK. That is, again, one of the premier facilities in the English Premier League, the home of the Tottenham Hotspur. Just an absolutely incredible opportunity for the Varsity White team to showcase their talent, again, against one of the world academies trying to introduce American football to the rest of the world. NFL Academy looking forward to our first matchup over across the pond.
I hope that turns into something that can be replicated in years ahead, too. I hope this trip goes so well that people can't imagine living without it, because I love seeing any opportunity like that for the kids to get a chance to open up their passports.
And I have a feeling it'll probably be an early flight tomorrow and hopefully have an opportunity to make it to the NFL game on Sunday. I believe it's Giants-Packers, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
And now they are going to run an end around, trying to get into Ascender territory, but just nowhere to go. Brought down, wrapped up by Kasani Giles. Wide receiver also playing some defensive back after 24 minutes of play. That is the Ascender lead. It's 24-0 over St. Thomas More. We'll step aside for about 20 minutes of halftime and have second half action for you. You're watching IMG Academy Football.
Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Every day, we rise.
What organelle builds protein?
As students. As competitors. As leaders.
It takes 7 days for food to
But most importantly, as people. People from all over the world who arrive wide-eyed and graduate wise beyond our years, having made lifelong relationships with teachers, coaches, and each other, all while becoming someone that our own families may not recognize. The best version of ourselves. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed.
Learning it and then applying it.
In college and beyond. To ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all. The human one.
Hey, Mom.
We did it.
Every day, we rise. As students.
7 days.
As competitors. But most importantly, as people. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed, to ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all. The human one.
There's a fog out there, and it's calling you by name. It wants to wrap its whole self around you, make you forget who you are. But you won't forget. You've got to find your way through that fog, through the unknown. There's only one way.
Every day, we rise. As students.
It takes 7 days.
As competitors. But most importantly, as people. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed. In college and beyond. To ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all. The human one.
You can't succeed by yourself. You need teammates, coaches, support. You need the right tools to give you that extra edge. That's what Theragun is to me. It's the perfect enhancement to my game. To jump a little bit farther, to run that little bit faster, to reach a little bit higher. Before, during, and after my workouts. I'm DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm a Therabody athlete.
I've been on my get back, copper bag slow. You would never see that. You trap though.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
This letter is for you. From what I hear, you're supposed to be the next Tom Brady. You're not the next Tom Brady. You're the next you. Compare yourself to nobody but the kid in the mirror. The one who knows that who you are today is just a piece of who you're going to become. Sincerely, Tom. You wrote this.
Yeah.
Here, boys become men and build their own legacy. This is a place where character is developed, drive is built, and where a brotherhood is formed. Not many have what it takes. They shy away from the long days and bright lights, but we earn the right to be here. When that moment comes, when our name is called, when time is running out and everything is on the line, many may crumble, but we rise. This is just the beginning of our story. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Every day, we rise.
What organelle builds protein?
As students. As competitors. As leaders.
It takes 7 days for food to...
But most importantly, as people. People from all over the world who arrive wide-eyed and graduate wise beyond our years, having made lifelong relationships with teachers, coaches, and each other, all while becoming someone that our own families may not recognize. The best version of ourselves. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed.
Learning it and then applying it.
In college and beyond. To ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all. The human one.
Hey, Mom.
We did it.
Welcome back to IMG Academy Stadium alongside my broadcast partner Nate March. My name is Ryan Sudol. Ready for the final 24 minutes of action here. The first half saw the Ascenders take a 24-0 lead. It was Roman Levant starting off the scoring with a 36-yard field goal attempt. Then a nice little broken play that Jaden Bradford took a bad bounce into the end zone from about 2 yards out. And then the Ascender offense just continued to wake up. A little bit of a stalemate after they got to 10-0, but then Jarrett Gibson with a 30-yard touchdown scamper, and then ending it, Winston Watkins on a nice across-the-middle route, making it 24-0. That is how we got where we are, and the Ascenders, Nate, are going to start the second half with the ball Again, still about 11 points away from potentially getting that FHSAA mandated running clock. This will be the first time we've seen the Ascender kick return unit out all night long.
Well, last year when St. Thomas More came in here, they set the tone early and they dictated the tempo of the game to their liking. They've done neither tonight, and this is the sort of game we kind of expected to see last year. This year, IMG has been able to stay on pace, get their offense out there for prolonged opportunities, and keep St. Thomas More from playing keep away.
I believe that is Winston Watkins Jr., one of the touchdown scorers, and then Carnell Tate, who has been the big offensive playmaker. Again, the future Ohio State Buckeye with some absolute great catches tonight, keeping drives alive and getting big chunks of yards out of St. Thomas More.
Well, if you're a big-time wide receiver nowadays, it doesn't seem like you can do much better than head to Ohio State. And you look at Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave coming out last year in the draft in the first round, and the Buckeyes have just reloaded. They will move some more men along at the end of this season, and Tate will walk in with a chance to compete next year for one of the nation's most explosive offenses.
Again, in the 8 seasons we've been broadcasting IMG Academy football, over 150, close to 200 Division I prospects. This will be Tate from the IMG 5-yard line. Finds a seam. He is stood up. He'll be brought down just shy of the 30. And 1st and 10 for the Ascenders, this time from their own, called the 27-yard line.
Now, Tate, we've got to see him operate in space a little bit. We've got to see him use his physicality to win matchups in tight coverage. Now, he's the total package. We knew that last year, and he only continues to display the strengths of his game.
So 1st and 10, it will still be Jaden Bradford, but the Ascenders will start with an empty backfield. 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. They will whip this one out quickly to Donovan Oludabe, who's got some room and some blocking help. And he'll step out of bounds, but not before getting a huge chunk of yardage out on that real quick screen, and the chains will move for IMG.
The pressure you can put on the defense with that play in the boundary. Varsity Blue had a good sequence where they made some hay with a similar type of screen pass last night. It takes a fleet of foot and well-balanced wide receiver who can navigate the sidelines. You can't let the sideline become an extra defender too early in the play. And there was good burst right out of the gate.
26 yards on that play and that's going to be a quick encroachment, but 26 yards for Oludabe. Almost all of that yak yards. And an encroachment against St. Thomas More will move IMG 5 yards closer to essentially putting this game away. St. Thomas More has shown some flashes, just have been unable to execute on the big plays downfield.
Wanted to give a shout out to Francis Malagoa also, really showing some speed for an O-lineman, how he got down the field as a blocker on that play.
Now Bradford takes the snap, the handoff. Believe this is Dickens, who finds a seam to the 30, 20, still on his feet, and he trips up down to the 10-yard line. And you see, can't see it on the broadcast right now, but backup quarterback Ryan Downs just quickly downfield, just helping the offensive looks and getting some of those coverage changes. 1st and 10. We'll call it about the 11-yard line. Now Bradford, the handoff to Dickens, trying to get back upfield. This time he stood up right at the 10. But a great run, about 36 yards for Dickens on the last scamper.
IMG offense moving the ball seemingly at will here in the third quarter. Thomas More, I'm not sure how much fight is left in that dog.
2nd down, 9 yards to go. They'll split out Oludabe and Winston Watkins to the right side. Carnell Tate now moves in motion. Trying to dance through the line of scrimmage. Dickens yet again. And now on 3rd and 4, IMG Academy. Again, they love to get 7. They don't need it. You get the feeling they would settle for 3 if St. Thomas More can come up with a stop here.
I'm not sure if they would. Honestly, they can still get a first down, don't need the touchdown. You might take 2 shots to at least get the first down here and just have St. Thomas More pinned back if you don't get it.
Now Bradford takes the snap, play action, rolling left, fires this one. It's a duck, and it's caught! It's caught, but they're going to say that Riley Williams was out of bounds. And again, somehow Jaden Bradford got that one out. It wobbles around, and let's take a look there. The play action, pressure bearing down on him. And there you see Riley Williams' foot just slipping out. A great athletic catch. Update from Berkeley Prep, where the varsity white team is playing. They were up 7-0 and now currently trail 28-7. Their flight to England tomorrow afternoon. And now an offside. So this will be half the distance on 4th and 4, so should bring it to about a 4th and 2. And you imagine you'd see the jumbo package here. The Ascenders don't want to settle for 3. And still technically could get a first down here without getting into the end zone.
Yeah, really don't need much at all now to get that first down.
And it is Bradford. Carnell Tate swung out to the right side. Oludabe to the near left side. And now Bradford's going to fight his way forward, tries to get into the end zone, and touchdown! Jaden Bradford calls his own number yet again. And the Ascenders now lead 30-0. There is a flag on the play.
That's not going to be on the play. That's going to be on somebody, and I couldn't tell. Yeah, I mean, it was a big crowd, but there was some extracurriculars coming out of the pile.
And we'll wait to see what the White Hat signals officially. But Bradford, for the second time, and the first one came on a botched snap. He was able to pick it up and just ease into the end zone. That one he had to fight for it. As we await the call from the official. And possibly, I would guess from the conversation, maybe even offsetting penalties after the play. Touchdown is good. Unsportsmanlike conduct against IMG. Unsportsmanlike against St. Thomas More. Wow, it's almost like I've done this for 8 years, Nate.
That was about as predictable as it gets.
30-0, the Ascender lead. One more touchdown would put them in the FHSAA mandated running clock. 9:47 remaining. Roman Levant back onto the field. He has been perfect from the PAT spot so far. Also 1 for 1 with a 36-yard field goal to his name. Bradford awaits. Snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up. And yet again, the kick is good. 9:47 remaining in the third. IMG now a 31-0 lead. You are watching IMG Academy Football.
Every day, we rise. As students,
7 days.
as competitors, but most importantly, as people. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed, to ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all, the human one.
There you see IMG Academy Stadium in Bradenton, Florida. An absolutely beautiful night here for high school football. Temperature when we get this kickoff, 76 degrees. And Levant gets a leg into this one, and no chance for a return, but takes a dangerous bounce very close to staying out of the end zone. That could have been recoverable from IMG. Obviously, you can't advance the onside, but that would have been a very unintentional onside kick.
I understand letting it bounce, but that's back-to-back kickoffs for the Chancellor's return man just walked away from it. It's very nearly stayed out of the end zone.
That is not something that the coaching staff would advise, especially with the height that Levant has shown on some of his kicks as well. Now the snap, Perry. Little end around to Deshaun Allen. And the IMG secondary and defensive line continuing to do what they have done all night and just absolutely shut out the Chancellors.
Last year's Chancellors, we mentioned rotated quarterbacks from Perry all night. One of the two quarterbacks they rotated last year was able to use QB run game quite a bit.
And now the snap, Perry. Hands off right up the middle and downed again.
Jones on the carry, brought down by Stone and Lee. Third down.
And now there is Perry awaiting the shotgun snap on 3rd and 5. And it's going to be a false start, actually 3rd and 4, so that'll move it back to 3rd and 9. Very unfortunate when they were finally starting to get some yards. There you see sophomore sensation Ryan Downs getting some warm-up throws. Would anticipate possibly seeing him on the next drive. Now Perry, 3 receivers to his right. Tough spot for the Chancellors. Takes the snap. Pressure coming. He's looking deep downfield, nowhere to go. And it looks like Cameron Leonard actually came up with it.
Let's take another look.
Leonard just absolutely mauled him and came up with it at the same time.
Quite the sack dance as well. In that celebration after the play.
And looking to see, it is actually not going to be Ryan Downs coming in for the backup team snaps. This is Nino Freeman.
He was warming up too. We looked at Downs.
So now Freeman for the first time this game. First snap, fires this one, finds Winston Watkins Jr., bounces off one and into the end zone. 1 for 1 with 1 touchdown from about 10 yards out. And awaiting what the whistle was, but that touchdown will stand. Watkins. And there's an injury timeout, but as soon as this is over, again, 1 play, not a bad stat line if you're one of the backup quarterbacks.
We saw Hamrick do the same thing for the varsity white, the freshman QB in the varsity program. 1 for 1 in his season debut through a TD.
Now Downs, the holder. Snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And the running clock will be instituted. 8:30 and counting remaining in the third quarter, but IMG has jumped out to a 38-0 lead. The Ascender Revenge Tour continues. You're watching IMG Academy Football.
Every day, we rise as students,
It takes 7 days.
as competitors, but most importantly, as people. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed in college and beyond. to ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all, the human one.
IMG would like to thank the following proud sponsors: Academy Bus, Airweave, Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, Careware, Coach Now, Dunlop, Folly Bryant, Gatorade and the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, Guided Knowledge, Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, Kipman Labs, Quick Goal, Legacy Hotel at IMG Academy, Michael Saunders and Company, Musco, NCSA, Select, SOM Sleep, Tandem Construction, Therabody, Under Armour, Win Reality, and Zenith. Thank you for your continued support of all IMG Academy athletic programs. Another illegal procedure on the kickoff, so a short field. And now the clock will keep going. And a relatively quick second half after IMG has just imposed their will.
Have to think after how last year St. Thomas More was really able to turn the game into the molasses swamp for better chunks of it, that IMG wanted to use their speed, spread the field, and they were successful in doing so.
Now Perry trying to get the air game going and complete to Monroe Cornafe, the 6'5", 195-pound junior. And Nate, we talked about it pregame. They do have some good D1 talent and some excellent size. Not many teams can match up size-wise with the Ascenders. But St. Thomas More has just been outplayed tonight for the most part and just outmuscled. IMG just, again, not wanting to see a 2 in that loss column for this 2022 campaign.
Previously, too, we saw Zion Tracy playing on both sides of the ball, and IMG is just too deep of a team for you to have to count on your best player going both ways like that.
2nd and 3, trying to go right up the middle to Alvarez. Nowhere to go.
IMG runs too deep at several positions with nationally highlighted recruits.
Jaden Jackson, one of them there, just running into the bear hug. And then the gang of Ascenders jumping back on top of him. Jaden Jackson, again, has been instrumental in getting a lot of those QB pressures and backfield stops tonight. And big plays also from Samuel and Pemba, as well as the rest of that defensive line. And now losing it. We'll see if the Ascenders come up with it. It's still on the ground. And coming up with it was Roberto Alvarez, but that's going to be 4th and long, and there is a flag on the play. And if this is a hold against St. Thomas More, you have to imagine, Nate, that it's going to be declined.
I would think so.
And it's, in fact, a defensive hold. That was unexpected.
One of the officials saw whatever they saw, but I promise you that defensive hold did not impact that play whatsoever.
And then we will go to our final water break of the third quarter, or our only water break of the third quarter. We'll have one more in the fourth. This will be the only time the clock stops, unless a coaching staff member calls it, but with a 38-point lead, don't anticipate that happening. Nate, this is the IMG team that we have come to know over the past few years, and again, once they get going downhill, it is a very hard force to stop.
Yeah, St. Thomas More, they know better than most teams what it takes to come hang in a game at IMG, and tonight they just were not able to execute that game plan at all. The first drive was really the only time they initially started to show a little success grinding on the ground, But once IMG forced them into a spot where they had to throw the ball, it became quickly evident that the offensive line couldn't keep Perry clean. I mean, they had to design rollouts. Perry had to run for his life. He's still back there getting creamed every time he drops back. The defensive line really has been really had a mismatch all across the board, it seems. So, there's been plays where it seems the whole defensive line is in the backfield.
And we haven't kept track of it, but there have been significantly fewer penalties committed by IMG than St. Thomas More tonight. Now the snap. Perry looking for that quick deep ball. Almost intercepted, and it is! It is picked off by IMG Academy Jarvis Lee. And that should just about do it. We'll get a few more drives in this game, but again, really the first big turnover we've seen from the IMG defense. We've seen, again, the big stops on defense that have forced the punts, but again, the turnover battle right there, just shredding Sage Clauges, who's been one of the only targets for Will Perry.
Yeah, and Perry's got to get that ball to the outside. Clauges can make a play on it if it's out over his far shoulder, but thrown to the inside where the defensive back was, and easy pickings on the interception.
So 1st and 10 from their own 23-yard line. 3 receivers left. It is still Nino Freeman. Takes the snap, and now the handoff is to Donovan Johnson looking right side. Quickly back to his feet. And coaching staff getting fired up on that St. Thomas More sideline. And this is also one of those situations, Nate, where we've seen where teams that are trailing this much against IMG, sometimes they can get a little chippy then to try to draw a personal foul or some kind of unsportsmanlike conduct at the end of the game just to try and throw IMG off the rhythm.
Yeah, well, certainly you can appreciate the frustration, too, involved, facing a 38-0 deficit.
Now play action. Freeman looking for his second pass attempt, and this one is intercepted. St. Thomas More is going to have a chance to return it. And after the pick, credit to Nair Graham, one of the team captains for the Chancellors, and giving St. Thomas More the short field.
Graham, another one of those Maryland products. Really, really talented player. Initially planned to stay in his home state, play for the Terrapins. That didn't wind up working out, so spending a post-grad year here with St. Thomas More up in Connecticut. Have to think that he's probably fielding some calls. And in fact, I know for a fact, I'm not sure if he attended. I know he was invited to Syracuse's primetime season opener against Louisville back in September.
Now they're trying to stop the clock, 2:54, and looks like we may need a personnel change.
Deshaun Allen, it appears something wrong with his equipment.
And Zion Tracy will come back on. And it is still Perry, this time Jaden Jones in the backfield with him. 2 receivers in tight to each side. And striking distance possibly for the Chancellors. Perry takes the snap. It is high. Takes a bounce. And turns in, again, just one of those things you can't let happen against a front four this strong. And IMG with the nice loss. Good recovery from St. Thomas More on the broken play, but again, this late in the game, that is not a play you can afford to let happen.
Yeah, Clauges was Johnny on the spot to pick it up and actually minimize the loss, but just a tough go of things. And too, when we start to get this late in the game, clock is running, some of those simple things are the first things you start to lapse on.
Now Perry, good snap, drops, pressure coming, rolls to his right. Probably going to have to keep it himself and then just throws a little adjustment play and doesn't keep it. Incomplete, signals the line judge who was right there. Again, an excellent adjustment by Will Perry.
Allen hauled it in, but got drilled and didn't finish all the way to the ground with the catch. Couldn't tell who for IMG it was that licked him on the sideline there, but hit.
I think that might be
Was
him,
the
Jarvis Lee, who also got the pick on that last St. Thomas More drive. 3rd and 12. Trips right. Perry awaits the snap. Takes it. Drops. Pocket closing. Just looking for that big home run ball, and it is somehow caught by Claudius. Nope, they're going to say incomplete. Great coverage by Eric Lee and also Jarvis Lee. And IMG forcing the 4th down. This might not be able to get one more play off. We'll see what they do on 4th and 12.
Never actually had that ball. We were shielded as Claude just rolled over onto his side, but he never actually even fully secured that ball.
An excellent effort by number 3 for St. Thomas More, who's trying to do everything tonight. On 4th and 12, we'll see if they get this one off. There is about a second difference in the game clock and the play clock. We'll see if they try to take this into the 4th quarter. They get it off. And now Perry looking deep across the middle. And that is going to be...
Should be offensive pass interference, quite frankly.
If anything, uncatchable. We'll see what the call is and then take our break for halftime. And they'll go describe it to the white hat, but...
Come on.
And they are going to call it against IMG. I mean, well over the head of both targets. The Ascender defender gets upended. And I believe we should still have one more play remaining in the 3rd quarter.
That should be correct. There should be an untimed down here.
I believe this results in a first down. But this is the end of the 3rd quarter.
And there are public address announcer Art Ross. And it looks like they are, in fact, going to break for the quarter. 12 more minutes to go. 38-0 is the Ascender lead. This is IMG Academy football.
Slow. You would never see that.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Here you see IMG Academy Stadium. The fans settling in. Perry now on 1st down to start the 4th quarter. Incomplete, looking for that home run ball into the end zone. And they didn't waste any time getting into it here. The final 12 minutes of the game.
And they won't last much longer than 12 minutes to actually wind through.
And again, hats off, though, to 6'2", 195-pound junior Will Perry, because he is still somehow on his feet after facing one of the best defensive lines in the nation.
It's kind of like being Mike Tyson's sparring partner at this point.
And now quickly into the flat, Marshawn Ferguson looking for space and then brought down. Credit to Joseph Roberto. Looked like...
I think we have a face mask on this play.
The official may have signaled a horse collar. Either way, it's not a good flag for either side. And it is against St. Thomas More. That's the other thing with this running clock. As those penalties occur, you basically waste a play to try to get into the end zone. At this point, if you're St. Thomas More, you'd love to get on the board just to, get your moral victory. Again, a lot of teams don't expect to win coming here to Bradenton. Second and extremely long for the Chancellors. Just about 10 minutes to play in the game. And a nice hit, but Sage Claw just stays on his feet and evades Eric Lee, but then feels the brunt of it on the second effort. And now 3rd and long. A nice gain for the Chancellors. Three receivers right, Claw just the lone target to the left. And that's where Perry's going to look first. He steps up in the pocket, and he fumbles the ball. Coming up with it, it looks like Gavin Nix fell on it, and IMG Academy just pouring it on.
Perry was anticipating the big hit that time, and the ball just slipped right out of his hands.
Again, great pocket awareness, but making some contact, and Perry just didn't have the ball secured. And IMG Academy's offense will come back on, and now we will see the sophomore Ryan Downs. We'll see if they let him air it out here with under 9 minutes to play. Two receivers to each side. Now the snap. Hand off to Johnson, running left side. He is brought down. And all IMG really needs to get on this drive is about 2 or 3 first downs, and again, they can enjoy the rest of their Friday night.
I think they've exacted quite a bit of joy out of Friday night so far.
Again, slow going when we were at 10-0. St. Thomas More's defense had some nice stops, and then once IMG jumped out to that 17-0 lead, there was just no looking back for the Ascenders. Now Downs takes the snap. Running left side is Johnson again, finds a hole, still on his feet, falls forward. Going to be close to the first down.
Yeah, 5 of the first 9 drives of this game actually resulted in punts. You look at the score, you wouldn't think that. Or you would think that they were all St. Thomas More punts, but that wasn't entirely the case either.
Again, we've talked about it plenty of times where if you're a good team in this country, you can typically stay with IMG for a quarter or a half, but the depth and just the absolute strength and preparation put in by the Ascenders is almost impossible to overcome. Now Johnson stays on his feet, fights forward, gets above in front of the 35-yard line, might be just inches short of the line to gain. 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, if you're St. Thomas More, you are looking at the possibility you may already have had the ball for the final time on offense, and I'm not sure that's the worst thing in the world for Perry's sake.
Second and inches for the Ascender offense. Donovan Johnson on the left hip of Ryan Downs. And now play action. They're going to let Downs air it out. Pressure coming. Now looking deep downfield, and this one just overthrown and a little miscommunication. Devin Hyatt was looking for it. Ran a little hook. But that one sails way over his head. Downs just trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think the receivers ran their routes on that play, and for Downs it turned into a schoolyard play once he was outside of the pocket because that ball was thrown pretty much directly in between where the two routes were going.
And this will be the final water break. We will take it with him. 5:58 remaining, and then we'll send you about your Friday evening. IMG 38, St. Thomas More 0. You're watching IMG Academy Football.
Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Every day, we rise.
What organelle builds protein?
As students. As competitors. As leaders.
It takes 7 days for food to
But most importantly, as people.
Final few plays here from IMG Academy. Ascenders 3rd and inches. Now the snap, the hand to Donovan Johnson. He gets the first down. Still on his feet. He stood up at the 40. Still on his feet. Falls down to the 44. And keeps the drive alive, and that should just about do it for the Ascenders. Maybe one more first down. But, Nate, this is the IMG Academy team we're accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, it's been a tour de force performance. Yeah, used that example of the metaphor of a snowball gaining momentum and gaining size as it comes rolling downhill. And once it got to 17-0, it got to 24-0, 31-0, 38-0 in a hurry. Defense doing their part as well. The offense is going to look to run the rest of this game out.
Now the snap. The handoff, Johnson just keeps finding seams. Now he's still on his feet to the 40, 35-30, 25-20, and tripped up a touchdown-saving tackle right about the 15-yard line. But Donovan Johnson, tonight the third-string running back, still getting his.
That changes the geography of the field somewhat, and IMG may, almost be forced to either score again or turn it over on downs, one or the other.
4.5 minutes to play, and you see Donovan Johnson just great spatial awareness, and then it was Jackson Witherspoon with that touchdown-saving shoestring ankle clip. Downs takes the snap. Looking right side. They're gonna probably let Johnson finish this drive out. Now under 4 minutes to play. Downs will come to the sideline to get the final few plays for IMG. Split out wide to left, Winston Watkins Jr. He's got 2 touchdowns tonight. Also, Donovan Oludabe to that far left side. Brandon Winton, the near side receiver. And now Johnson trying to fight into the end zone. He does! Touchdown Ascenders. With 3:20 and counting remaining, IMG puts the cherry on top. They lead at 44-0.
Yeah, only right in that situation. Let Johnson finish what he started. Able to get right there to the goal line and keep his momentum falling forward into the end zone.
Roman Levant. On for the point after. Snap back. The hold is down. The kick is up. And Levant from the point after spot tonight is perfect. 45-0 the score for IMG. Nate will keep it here. Again, just an absolutely incredible performance. The Ascenders early on in the second half jump out. They get the running clock going at 38-0. And then that final drive there, Donovan Johnson basically just making St. Thomas More try to stop him, and they just couldn't.
Yeah, like I said, I think IMG really sort of beat the fight out of St. Thomas More at a certain point tonight. Back-breaking play after back-breaking play from the IMG offense. it's going to be a tough flight back up to Connecticut.
And we'll probably just get a play or two and maybe see a Hail Mary just to try to get St. Thomas More some points on the board. Again, it's not a short flight back to Connecticut for these kids, but again, a very impressive first half defensively for St. Thomas More. It looked like they could possibly stay in the game, just couldn't get anything done offensively. And IMG taking as much time as they possibly can here. They'll maybe have time for one play. And Levant will get his leg into it if he sends this out of the back of the end zone. There might not even be time for that, as we're down to 45 seconds and counting. Here you see Ryan Downs and Jaden Bradford conversing on the sideline. Jarrett Gibson there as well. And a nice 30-yard touchdown run for him. Jaden Bradford, 2 rushing touchdowns. The Senders getting a lot done through the air, most of it churning through on the ground. But Jaden Bradford throwing some absolute dimes tonight.
Yeah, I mean he was athletic. He was on target with his arm. He showed good velocity on the short throws, was able to put air under the long ones. It was a complete package performance.
And what will be the final play for St. Thomas More? It'll be a running play. They run left side, and you just at this point have to hope nobody gets hurt, but that will do it after 48 minutes here in Bradenton, Florida. IMG Academy 45, St. Thomas More 0. Nate, just an absolutely dominating performance. Much what we expect to see from this IMG Academy offense, especially with an out-of-state opponent on a short week. And tonight the Ascenders were just too much.
Yeah, the skill talent is where the advantage was last year for IMG, and they really spread the field and put it on display tonight. Big plays for Watkins, for Tate. We've already really lauded the quarterback play. The running backs all got in on the act with some big runs. And then of course the defensive front made life miserable for Perry and the Chancellor's offense all night long.
Samuel Mpemba huge in the first half, and that defensive line just absolutely stout. Guys like Jaden Wayne in on almost every play. Also saw big plays from David Stone and so many more. But thank you guys. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow night. The post-grad team will be playing. Neither myself nor Nate will be here, but tune into the IMG Academy YouTube page at 5 p.m. for kickoff. Again, final score 45-0. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If you're an Ascender fan, we know you enjoyed the outcome. For everybody here at IMG Academy and for my broadcast partner, Nate March, my name is Ryan Sudol saying so long from the Suncoast.